We have had so many messages, haven't we, this morning, from our viewers, reporting, ordering quite often bundles of knives from Amazon and them just being left by couriers on your doorstep with no ID checks, no age checks, which is completely against what should be happening. And this, of course, follows the Prime Minister saying that these Southport murders were carried out by the two-click killer, following revelations that he bought a knife on Amazon 2 weeks before the attack.
Well, Keir Starmer has written in The Sun today saying the law, the rules at least, on knife sales should be strengthened, updated, changed, requiring online retailers to ask anyone buying a blade for 2 forms of ID. The Employment Minister, Alison McGovern, joins us now. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
There are already rules on buying knives online, and clearly were not followed in this case. And as Richard says, we have viewers getting in touch saying ID has not been checked in many cases when they've been bought. Is there any need to change the rules? Why not strengthen the rules that are in place right now?
I think it sounds like we have to do both. I'm quite shocked by this situation. I think everybody will be. Although clearly, if you've got viewers messaging in to say that they don't believe that the existing rules are being stuck to, then that has to be responded to very quickly indeed. But I do think we need to go further. Knife crime is a very significant, very distressing problem. And I think if we need more measures to make sure that only people who should be able to get hold of them can, and we need to stop this flow of knives, then we have to do that. But I don't think it is about just new measures or making sure the existing one works. I think it's both, and I am horrified to hear what your viewers are telling you. That sounds dreadful, and I'm sure that any online retailer, Amazon or whoever, will very much want to work with the government to change this.
These aren't isolated reports, I can tell you. They've been coming in all morning from our viewers. There is clearly a very widespread problem out there. They're also coming up, I have to tell you, our viewers are on the front foot on this, with solutions. And one of the most common suggestions that's been made here this morning is that anyone who orders knives online, those packages should be delivered to their local post office. And like many parcels are, and you go to the post office to pick up your knife, and you therefore have to show your ID and your face.
Yeah, I understand where people are coming from there. And I think if there are new measures, you know, for example, that you've just described, so that we can make sure that people are checked properly and that those ID checks are actually done, then absolutely nothing should be off the table here. And, you know, I'm sure any responsible business would want to work with the government to make sure that this system works. It's too important to get this wrong. We will have new protections put in place, but if what we've got already simply isn't working, that is utterly horrifying and not good enough. So having heard what your viewers have said this morning, I'm obviously not a Home Office minister, but I will feed that back directly to Home Office ministers, because they will want to work very closely with any online retailer, including Amazon, to make sure the existing protections work to stop the kind of thing that your viewers have described.
We'll send our messages across to you after the programme so you can pass them on in print, as it were, to the Home Office.
Thank you.
Let's talk about what you are here to announce today. And this is a crackdown on benefit fraudsters. If somebody's already fiddling the system, what is it going to do to them if you take away their driving licence? Isn't it just going to lead them to drive without a licence?
So I'll come to that in 1 second, but the bill we're putting forward today has 3 sets of measures to improve the way we find and tackle fraud. So firstly, we want to work with banks to see where people are outside the eligibility criteria and get that information, because that will help us find the fraud. Secondly, we need the ability to have search powers ourselves to get evidence rather than relying on the police, as other bits of government do. And finally, we've got these backstop powers, because when we try to get the money back, when we've discovered fraud, we can take that money back. If somebody's still on benefits, we can take it back through the benefit system. If they're on PAYE, so if they pay their tax through PAYE, we can take it back through the tax system. If somebody's not doing either of those things, then we need more powers to be able to get the money back. So the new powers will be to get that money back through banks. And then finally, as a backstop power, if after all of that, they still don't want to give us the money back, like currently happens with the child maintenance service, we want to be able to apply to a court to say, disqualify this person from driving. And that is a backstop power to make sure that we get this money back, because nobody should steal from the social security system ever, because that's the public's money that is there for people if they need it in their pension and to stop our kids being poor.
OK.
In these
that
times
comes across loud
when
and
we
clear.
need the money, we've got to get that money back.
Yeah. I want to ask you about another group of people who feel like you're going to take money away from them. And these aren't fraudsters. These are people with disabilities living on PIP, personal independence payments. We spoke to disability campaigner and actor Sam Renck earlier. Just have a listen to what she said.
I guess that our government doesn't see us as a drain and a burden. And instead of actually making us feel like we're living on eggshells, actually invest in us rather than, you know, of us constantly living in the fear of things being taken away. It's as simple as that.
Sam Renck says every time a brown envelope comes through her door, she thinks it's going to be your department saying, we're cutting your PIP.
So I understand that. I've listened to my own constituents who are fearful and don't trust DWP, and a lot of the changes that we want to make is to help and support people in a better way so that we can deal with that. I want disabled people to have the right to work and the right to dignity and respect like everybody else.
Are you going to reassess PIP payments for people?
So we have already put forward in a white paper how we're changing our employment support service so that we can help people move into work.
Are you reassessing their PIP payments?
So with regards to health and disability benefits, the previous government did a consultation on this that, you know, wasn't done well at all and has been into the courts. We will bring forward our own proposals, and we have a green paper coming. The disabled people, the Minister for Disabled People, Stephen Timms, is working with disabled people and is establishing a new panel so that we can listen to people properly as we do this.
Okay, so are you reassessing people's PIP payments?
Are you going to cut them?
Well, we will bring forward a green paper to discuss what the future will be, because at the moment the system doesn't work for anybody. The work capability assessment that's part of the universal credit system is a failure. It doesn't work for people who need to access that support. With regards to PIP, it's not working either. So we need to change the system, but we want to do that with disabled people, and that's why we're listening. And we will put forward our ideas in a green paper that we can talk to people about, and that so that we can make this system work. But above all else, we've got to make sure that disabled people have respect and can work, and that we, as Sam said quite rightly, we value their contribution like everybody else in this society.
So there's a process to go through. Look, we've got half a minute left, so just ask you this. What's the British government's position on this gesture that was made by Elon Musk, who's clearly a very important figure in the United States now, described by many as making a Nazi salute? Apolitical figures in America and outside America, political figures outside America and in America, all agree that this gesture was clearly aping the Nazi salute. What do you think?
Can I be honest? I really don't know, like, what that was, and there's been a lot of discussion and debate about it. I mean, I don't know what that was, well, what he intended or whatever. We will work with the new administration in the US because it's in our national interest to do so, and in the interests of, you know, growing the economy across the world. But like, Elon Musk seems to do and say lots of things, some of which, as we know, have been quite badly informed. So I have no idea what was going on there. But the most important thing is that, in a serious way, we work across governments to try to get growth in our economy and a bit more security in this world, which is what is needed.
All right. Well, we're out of time there. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.